Okay. All right. We have, there's another session that we're going to be holding up the hill at Word of Life Church, and we're going to need to be gone in the next, say, 16 minutes. But there's a question and answer period that we can do right now. And so we'll go ahead and start. And why don't some of these emergency response folks come on up here, because I am not going to even try to do that. Okay. Actually, right here, Ron Ashford.
Today, on what front is this fire being fought, and what areas of concern do you have?
Well, the weather continues to be our biggest concern. As Randy said, we are the number one fire, so we're getting adequate resources, and we're putting those in place where we can. But the area that's up and around Duckwall, that part of the fire is very active. And then the other major part is over on the east side of the fire, over closer to Yosemite. So those are the two biggest fronts, but every piece of uncontrolled line, we've got resources working to get line established around the perimeter as close as we can to it.
I'm just trying to get more information how close the fire actually is to Tuolumne. That's what we all came here to find out, and what the likelihood is that it could get away and get through Tuolumne and even over to 108, where some of us are. We know there's some wind that's going to pick up tonight and tomorrow, and we're trying to make decisions whether we're going to pack up and leave or how long we're going to stay.
Right.
So if we can have information on what we can expect, how many tankers do you have dumping the fire line right behind Tuolumne, so we can make up our own minds what action we want to take.
Okay, sure. The fire has made it to the rim. That was the reason that the advisory went out yesterday, was the fire made it to the rim of the river. But it's still up on the slope. It hadn't made it down to the river. The river is one of the trigger points that initiates some of the evacuation criteria. We've got 9 air tankers assigned to this fire, 2 DC-10s, and then the others are smaller. But we're dropping a lot of retardant on the fire to try to slow it down. Retardant slows fire down. Firefighters put the fire out. But we've got the 1,400 resources that are stationed right here in town, and their primary mission is working on this piece of the fire line to protect Tuolumne. So we're focusing a lot of the effort here, and then we're focused on the entire perimeter. In addition to the air tankers that we've got 9 helicopters. 7 of those are Type 1 helicopters that drop into 2,000 to 3,000 gallons bucket at a time. We've got portable retardant bases that those folks can dip out of, as well as the water sources. So we're putting as many aviation assets out there to support all of the ground resources and engines that we got out there. And we're getting a lot of the resources that we're getting are CAL FIRE's resources. We are in unified command with CAL FIRE and have been for the majority of the fire. So we're great cooperation all the way around. From anything that we're asking for, we're getting it. But we can't ask for 10,000 people, because we've got to manage that. So we've got to build that structure as we go around and be able to deal with it. But we're getting more and more people in here every day. It's a steady stream coming in. It's burning in that area, but we're trying to stop it from the final line on the 87 fire complex. So we're trying to stay interior of the Forest Service boundary and it not come to the boundary of the town where the private lands are. Will that allow the fire to slow sometime after approaching? Yes. The fortunate thing that we're taking advantage of is that fire's on the rim. It's got to go down slope before it comes back up slope. So we're hitting that as hard as we can with resources to buy us more time to get that line completed on the other side of the river and get that area secured, burned out, and taken care of.
Hello. I'm here.
Oh.
I evacuated upon advisement. I was trained by the Office of Emergency Services. But we have 2 areas of unease. One of them is the unlock lock. I locked everything but left a cell phone number at the front door so I can tell them where the key is. That's one of the things I hear from people. They're concerned about locking. Second was I left a perimeter of lights on, which was a beacon telling everyone I was gone. Lights, no lights, lock, unlock. What would you advise?
I'll let the sheriff deal with the lock, and we'll get to the other part. We'll get
We would advise lock, okay? We're going to be in the area, I mean, totally saturating those areas, and it's okay to leave the lights on. It helps us. As we're going by, it allows us to see a little bit easier. You got to understand that our staffing levels on a normal day are about 1/5 of what you're going to have in an evacuated area, okay? So for security reasons, can't guarantee your safety, but it's pretty safe.
Yes, I would like to know more about the reverse 911 call. Yesterday, we found out by accident that we were under advisory, and we never received a call. When do you make those calls, and am I included in that?
Well, we make those calls as soon as those trigger points on the map are hit. Those calls will start. We'll activate that system. There was a glitch in the system, I believe, with Comcast customers, but the computer is working on that. It's as no fault to Comcast. It's just it was a glitch in the system. So some people did not get notified. We also, our calls, you have to do them by block. The calls went up all the way to Long Barn, but the message did say that the advisory was below Miwok.
The other thing about the reverse 911 system, if you're part of a regular landline system, those are going to go there. If all you have is a cell number, and if you're not if you don't have your cell number registered, it doesn't know to call you. And anyway, so if you have a cell number, that's your only one, you're not going to get the reverse 911 calls. So you should be listening to your radio stations and other media outlets.
I was curious, we're on the other side of 108 from Willow Springs off of Launch Way, and I had, pardon? The north side. And so I had called the SPCA to say we could handle some large animals, some horses, and keep them at our home. But then they were doing the evacuation thing for Willow Springs. Well, if we're just on the other side of the highway, should I still offer to do that, or should I be ready to go? We did get that call yesterday.
That's something you might want to give animal control a call and set that up for that. Okay. No, it's a good call to offer that, because we're not sure where it's going at this point, but I can tell you right now you're not under any order.
I'm Joseph DiFilippo. I have a cabin up here in the evacuation advisement area up here in Sherwood Forest. My concern is the lack of information getting out to us. I spent an hour and a half on the web this morning, finally finding that they're going to try to contain the fire line on the North Fork of the Tuolumne. I'd like to know what's going on each day. Is a fire coming, or is a fire being held? And I seem to be having trouble on the internet. Can somebody here give me all of us a website that we can get? InstaWeb is not doing very well. By the way, you guys are doing a great job on the line, so I don't want you to think I'm ridiculing you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, the InstaWeb system that we use is used all across the nation. So, and we're having a lot of fires in a lot of other parts of the country. So it's going to have up periods and down periods. We're trying to get information boards in the communities. We got more public information officers that are going to be coming in over the next, there's some arriving today, and we're going to be saturating the areas so that we can try to get as much information disseminated through all medias, through internet, hard copies of things in stores, and just trying to blanket you with as much information as we can. Things are very dynamic on the fire, so the internet is our quickest way and the way that we try to rely to get that information out, and we'll try to do better to keep that stuff updated. But I know there was one period that it was down for 13 hours, and it wasn't anything that we could do about it, but we'll try to find some other avenues and use some better technology.
Hi, and yes, we've noticed there's been a problem with the InstaWeb. So what we started doing yesterday, and we're going to continue to do, is duplicating that information on the Stanislaus National Forest website. So we've now dedicated a page. We've got somebody in there that's going to be posting the information that is normally on InstaWeb. We're going to double up and put it on the website. So you should be able to go there and also find them. Yes, just a second, just make sure. It's www.usda.gov/Stanislaw. Okay? Yes, that's www.usda.gov/Stanislaw.
I have a question on, is there any way that you can give us more updated maps of what has burned? I know usually the maps only come out usually once a day. Today we haven't really gotten anything new. I mean, normally we've been going in on my mother lode. But if there's any way that you can guys give us a map of what is a warning evacuate, what areas is in the warning, what is in the, advisory, what's in the order, and then the other question I have is I understand that there's a big plane that's an Evergreen 747 that's up in Sacramento. Why don't we have that down here? It carries twice as much as what the DC-10 does.
It's here. We got the two DC-10s that's here.
The 747 that's up there.
I'll check on it. The last time that we had tried to use that, it was not under contract. So, but I will double check on that. It's over.
What's your optimistic time frame?
For
you said your 4-day projection. Earlier in your speech, you said something about your 4-day projection. I'm just wondering, you guys got it coming down the canyon. You're already planning. You're probably backburning all that. Do you guys have an optimistic projection as to how much time we should be worried, or?
Yeah. You're not going to nail me down to days, I'll tell you that. So
I'm not trying to.
And I realize that. No, we're working at it as hard as we can. We have better weather today than we've had, and we're going to take advantage of it. We've got enough resources and the contingency lines. Whenever we get that break in the weather, we're going to have things in place that we can take that opportunity and take the fight to the fire. So, with less than a week is my best guess right now, but that's that's a guess at this point. So, sure, yep, and we are hopefully optimistic. I said that earlier.
Yeah, as far as the map, because we will need to leave, we're going to go ahead and leave one of these maps. Why don't we leave Ralph? Tell them. Okay, there's one in the corner, and we will leave that here so you can refer to it. Now, no, there's a date and time on there, so it's not current. It was current as of what, last night? Last night. So we'll have that.
Last night's acreage. Yeah, the acreage at about 1 o'clock this morning was a little over 125,000 acres. So we had about a 20,000 acre growth yesterday. That's a lot less. That sounds like a lot, but that's a lot less than we had the last few days. That's not substantiated. No.
I have a question about the advisory area. It's unclear. I have to go past a checkpoint just to get home today and show ID that I live there. I have not gotten a call. Do we assume I live south of Soulsbyville? Do I assume that if I haven't gotten a call that there's no advisory for my area?
No, I'd have to find out exactly where you live, but we have a several-prong notification system. 911 reverse is only one of them, okay? We also get it out to all the local radio stations, and then we may go through your neighborhood on loudspeakers. When it's real severe or we really want that message to go out, we're going door to door in those areas. Okay, so you should be notified one of those 4 ways.
I have a sister that has a cabin east on 108 up in the Cold Springs Pinecrest area. What is the outlook for that area?
We're working on lines to keep the fire from getting to 108 corridor altogether. But we are going to continue to put in contingency lines parallel to 108 so that we've got a fallback. But we're focusing our efforts farther inside the forest so that those areas don't get affected.
What is the likelihood of the containment area being expanded from Soulsbyville, say out towards Phoenix Lake area or Crystal Falls? What is the?
There is an evacuation line that's established, or a trigger point that would be established that would fall into the evacuation area, and we got those trigger points set. What's the likelihood? And this time I would say it's low. But it's not to say that the fire couldn't become very active and that be part of the evacuation area at some point. We're going to do everything we can to keep that intact.
Do one more.
Is Hershey Road tomorrow's kind of? Does it start, the advisory start at 1 time? What consists of Tuolumne?
The way I understand it is it's more up over the hill, predominantly. If you can picture something high and up. Okay. But you're right on that border, so you need that morning stage. Prepare.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Hamel to close this, but we also supervise.